welcome or welcome back to the channel. I'm Christina and this is Creations by Christy, and welcome back to part 8 of our Mystery Make series. This has been so much fun so far. If you haven't got to catch up with them, go ahead and take a look through them. They've been great. We haven't had a dud yet. There's been some great patterns that we've got to go through. So with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's see what we're going to be making today. All right, so a sewing project. Our last few have been crochets, so that's awesome. And I mean, a tortilla warmer, who can't use one of those? It looks like it's going to be made with some 100% cotton. I quilt, so I have tons of cotton, so that's not a problem. It does have a batting in it, which I have as well. So let's go ahead. Let me get you turned around. Let's pick what fabric we're going to be using for this project. All right, so as I said, as a quilter, the majority of my fabric, at least the fabric that's on my shelves, I do have totes too. Once again, a reason why we use what we got. A majority of my fabric is going to be cotton. So one thing we need is we're going to need this batting. Hold on, let me sit you down. Let me see if I can grab it. All right, I got it out there. Struggled, but I got it out. So this kind of batting, this is a cotton batting. This is used a lot when you make things that are going to get warm or things that could be microwaved. So things like bowl koozies, and you know, this tortilla warmer is something that's made to go into the microwave, so that as well. Yeah, and I've used it for pot holders, things like that. So that is perfect for what we're doing. Let's go ahead, let's get our fabric picked. That's the only thing when you have so much is you never know what you want to use, right? Let's look in this bin. Now, of course, a part of me is like, why not go with some good, you know, things that would look great in your kitchen? But then I'm also like, why not use something fun? This is also something you could use fat quarters for, because you're going to need an inner lining fabric, which we will probably go ahead and grab that. I'm just going to grab this muslin I have here. Oh, this isn't muslin. This is cotton. But anyways, I'm going to grab this. This is going to be used for my inner fabric. So that was an easy decision. And then you could use like 2 fat quarters for your outer fabric and things like that. So this is an easy, you know, kind of use an easy cheap. You know, you can get fat quarters for pretty cheap at the store nowadays. All right, I might end up going with something safe. Ooh, I don't know, I really like this, but I don't feel like there's enough there. Aha, there's that. I think that'll work. So you need 2 11-inch circles of each 3 things. So of your batting, of your inner fabric, and of your outer fabric. So let me get you over to the cutting board and let's get some stuff cut up. So you're probably like, why you got a plate? So you need an 11-inch circle for this pattern, and it's an 11-inch plate. I mean, can't ask for anything better than that. Easy template. I'm also using a heat erase pen just so I can draw out my pattern on them. And there we go. Easy peasy. Of course, like most things, you want to use, you know, the least amount as possible. It would help if my sides were lined up. There we go. Much better. So I'm just going to go over towards the corner and trace with my pen. Nope. She's not wanting to work. Sometimes they have a moment. So let me grab something else. Alright, so this is just Sharpie. We all know what those are. Heat pins are great. I can cut this off. I'm not worried about it. Is my Sharpie? Are you kidding me? Take 492. So my heat pin quit working. My last Sharpie quit working. Let's try this one. Third time's a charm, right? There we go. Goodness gracious. I'm not looking for a really deep line. I can see that. I am going to go ahead and just rough cut this out. So I can scoot it out of the way. I can finish trimming it when I'm done with all three of them. So that's that outside fabric. This is that batting they said we're going to use for that in between. Just rough cut it as well. And then our inner fabric, which this is a big old piece of it. It's a whole bolt. I used to get lucky, used to find stuff like this stupid cheap, and I would just buy tons of it when I did find it. Now, should you probably iron all your fabric and all that fun stuff? Yes. This can very much be a do as I say, not as I do situation. And that's personal preference. I don't always iron my fabric. If it's clothes, yeah, if I'm trying to make something like that, or of course quilting, I will iron fabric because those are things that tend to need a little more perfection in them. So yeah, those points I will iron my fabric and go through with that. something as easy as this, I don't find it necessary. There you go. So we have everything pinned up together. I did have to double check their YouTube tutorial just to make sure I was pinning it right. I didn't want to accidentally pin it incorrectly. But we're going to go ahead. We got to sew half of this and then do some flips around. So let me take you over to the sewing machine. So another really important thing while we're over at the sewing machine to remember is anytime that you're making something that's going to get hot or get warm, pot holders, anything like that, you want to make sure you're using 100% cotton thread. The reason I call that out is most thread that you're going to just buy at the store is either going to be polyester or it's going to be a cotton coated thread. A lot of dual purpose threads, all purpose threads are polyester or a polyester coat. So it's important to make sure you're using 100% cotton just for the fact that it's going to get hot. You don't want it to melt. So let's go ahead, let's get these put together. So I'm just using pins to mark kind of that start and stop that I did on this one so that when I flip them around and sew everything together, they line up. That's it. So now I'm just doing a double check, make sure I didn't accidentally miss an edge on the other side. and I got really close right here. So I think I might actually go ahead and pull those threads and redo this little section right here, just so I don't worry about anything unraveling. It's really close to the edge and I don't like that. I mean, no one enjoys taking a seam ripper to their stuff, but go ahead. And of course, it's right at the end where I put those locking stitches in, which always makes it even more fun. There we go, I think, yeah. So, I don't know if you guys can tell, but right here, it's just really close to the edge. I don't like it being that close, so I'm going to take it back a little bit. Probably a little bit farther than that. There we go. And kind of sit here and line everything up since I no longer have pins or anything in. Grab a clip to help. And go ahead and redo that section. And there you go. So much better. So now we need to trim up our threads. Go ahead and clean those up. And then the pattern also wants us to do some snips throughout the edge, just so when we turn it the right way, it helps it lay better as a circle. Grab my other scissors for that. You just want to go right along the edge. You want to make sure you're not getting up into your, your sewn part, of course. And this is one of those things. Do you have to do it? No. Does it look nicer? Yes. It does help the circle lay better, not having all that tension around. So it's an easy thing to do, so that you can turn it, turn it around. And so that's what we're going to do next. Hey. So, have you ever completely messed up and then realized it 3/4 of the way through a project? I have. It's okay. I fixed it. I didn't put you guys through that torture of what I was going through. I had I had stacked them wrong. Yeah. And as soon as I went to turn them, I was like, this isn't lining up like it's supposed to be. Yeah, because it was wrong. So, picking up where we left off, it's right this time. So, we are just turning them the right way. It does suggest pressing them. I'm not going to at this point. I hope you don't mind that. It's a simple step. I just don't feel like after completely redoing them, I don't feel like making that step. So I think it'll be okay. They just right this moment might be my little wrinkly tortilla warmers. You do it more to help lay your seams. So I mean, it's not the end of the world. So now what we do is we're going to go right sides together. We still have this open edge. We're going to go right sides together. And we are going to sew those together and sew that closed. Trim it up. See all the remnants of my previous mistake. I'm going to go ahead and trim up just some of the excess that's on the inside. Just my little scissors. Yeah, just like before, we're wanting to make sure that we don't get too close to that seam allowance. But we're just cleaning up our edge, basically. And now we flip it back around and get my mess cleaned up. And I'll scoot my machine over a little bit. And there you have it. There is our tortilla warmer. All right, there you have it. There's our tortilla warmer. It's 11 inches, so now it'll be a little bit less than 11 inches. The pattern lets you know. You can go ahead, check this in the microwave for a moment, let it warm up, and then you can keep your tortillas nice and warm in there. We gotta love a house project. You know, like I said, a tortilla warmer is something anyone can use. So, and it was super, super easy. It took me an hour, and that's with filming and having to completely take apart and resew everything. So, I mean, a quick hour project that you could literally use like a couple fat quarters and a piece of leftover batting, 2 pieces of leftover batting, and make it. You know, I've really been loving this series purely for those kinds of things. Everything we've done so far, knock on wood, has been easy or easy enough. You know, our previous video, it was an easy pattern. It was just time consuming because I didn't really think too much into it when I was working on it. But the pattern was easy. This pattern's super easy. She has a YouTube tutorial too. And like always, I will make sure I link the pattern and everything down below so you can make one as well. We gotta love something easy and something useful. So with that being said, like I said, I will make sure I link the pattern down below so that you can go over and give them some love. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and like this video, especially if you want to keep seeing things like this. And if you'd like, leave a comment. Let me know if there's anything that you'd like to see coming up on the channel. As I've been saying, the Maker series is great, but if there's something else you'd like to see, it'd be great for you to let me know. So with that all being said, thank you as always for viewing, and you have a good rest of your day.